Hello, welcome back. Today I'm just going to take it easy, and I genuinely do not have the energy or motivation to do absolutely anything right now. I have been dealing with some personal blows the past 2 weeks. I have just experienced a lot of loss, and I just do not feel like doing anything, but the show must go on, you know what I mean? I have contracts to uphold and videos to post and groceries to buy, so we're out here. I think today what I'm going to do with you guys is just spend a little afternoon without screens or anything. I really just want to do something positive and creative because I feel like that will help me feel better. I have my journal for next year. This was a gift from my mom, I think last Christmas or my last birthday. So I'm really excited to get into this. I'm totally gonna butcher the pronunciation. I can't even read that on the back. Luke term. There's probably like a more German way to say it, but it's one of these. Yeah, it's definitely German. Anyways, I don't know how to say that. Sorry to all the German people that follow me, but that's the brand. I haven't tried it out yet. I've been pretty faithful to Archer and Olive this whole time that I've been doing bullet journaling with dots and everything. So I'm excited to try out a new journal, but it was a gift, so I want to use the ones that I already have before buying new ones. So we'll see if I will be converted or go back to Archer and Olive next year when I have to buy a new journal. Anyways, I wanted to start setting up my journal for next year because that seems like a really fun thing to do. I definitely have some like planning and things to do on it. I think I tried to write out some ideas for the beginning of my journal. Do not know where that piece of paper went because I usually do it in my current journal, but I didn't have that with me at work when like inspiration struck. Anyways, that, and maybe also start like a little crochet project or something, just because that's been on my mind lately to start another crochet project. I've only very recently, as if you follow this channel, started crocheting. I learned for the first time a little bit earlier this year, and I've been a little slow going at it because my reading has kind of taken precedent over my crocheting because I can't really do both at the same time. I can't even like listen to an audiobook at the same time that I'm crocheting right now in my very early stages of knowing how to crochet. I think I've done about 3 projects. I did a BT21 Shooky amigurumi, which actually I still need to finish the arms, I think, for that, which I could do so quickly, but I'm not going to do that today. I want to start a new project. And then I also did an amigurumi shark for my younger sibling, and I also did a little like Kindle sleeve for my Kindle, and it's kind of ugly because it's my first time doing straight crochet, but it turned out fine, so you know, it is what it is. I think I want to try to learn how to start a granny square today because I have some yarn that I want to use for a little granny square project. Yeah, so today is just going to be about letting myself be calm and feel safe and creative and do something positive and nice and sweet without screens or stress or, you know, chores. There's plenty of things to do, but I just need to give myself a little bit of downtime today. Anyways, before we get into all of these lovely, sweet, calming chores and activities, I would love if you could just give me 60 seconds of your time while I talk about the partner for today's video, which is Mint Mobile. So as you know, if you've been watching this channel for a while, I talk about Mint Mobile a lot because they are a partner on this channel, and that is for a reason. The whole point of this channel, and really the reason why I started it, was to find realistic ways to live a happy and intentional life. And the modern day and age where we all have to have cell phones and everything, obviously the best thing that you can do is try to find a carrier that is affordable but also works well, and that's exactly what Mint Mobile does, which is really, really awesome. They have plans starting at just $15 a month, and the service is really good. It's literally the exact same as my old carrier and a fraction of the price. So if you're in the US, then I highly suggest checking out Mint Mobile. My link, trymintmobile.com/GraceNevitt. I'll put it put all the information in the description for you lovely people. Thanks again to Mint Mobile for being a partner on this channel, and I hope that whoever has switched over to Mint Mobile has had a good experience so far. Back to our fun little artsy activities. I have everything that I need right now. I am like all set up. I have water, I have my iPad, I have my journal, and then I have my markers and stuff. So, and also all of my yarn is like right next to the couch in a ginormous bag. So I think let's just get started on the journal. I definitely have to do some planning. I'm gonna see if I can find that piece of paper that has like the first couple of pages planned out, and then I'm also gonna go get my other journal just to see how I want to set it up slightly differently, because there were some things that worked in my other journal from last year and then some things that did not work or that I wanted to shift around a little bit. And that's the beauty of a bullet journal, is that each year it just gets better and better and more fitted to your needs and everything. And I haven't decided this next year for 2025 if I'm going to do printed out pictures or if I'm gonna try to do like little art things. I saw this really sweet like Miffy little watercolor that someone did. I think I actually have some watercolors in there. I don't know. I think it would bleed through on this paper. So we'll see about all that. But I have markers, so that's fine. But anyways, like stuff that's like really simple like that, I could totally do with like my markers, or theoretically if I could scrounge up a little sketchbook or watercolor paper, then I could do some watercolor or something of just like simple designs or, you know, whatever's. I'm pretty good at like copying things. If I have to come up with it myself, all bets are off. Cannot do it. But when it comes to like just recreating something, I'm actually quite good at that. So I guess we'll decide. If it comes to be too much of a hassle, then perhaps I will switch over to printing things out again. But I feel like my setup that I have so far works pretty well, but sometimes I don't always utilize it as well as I could. So perhaps I will do a little bit of finagling to figure out what's the best way to do that. Anyways, I've been sitting here and talking straight at you guys for quite a minute now, so let's get started. Okay. I could not find the piece of paper. I'm not surprised, because I literally wrote it on a scrap of paper and then expected it to just be somewhere that I'd be able to find it. No, that's not how it works. That's why I keep everything in the journal. Anyways, this is the front of it. I kind of set this up in one of my other videos, I think, or like at least flipped through it. So this is the cover from the old Monet calendar that I had in 2023, and then I cut out the pictures and used it. I have my little intentions for the year, my no-buy spread, which I freaking called it. I did not fill out any of this, and I don't plan to, because it would just be too overwhelming. And then I have my book spread, which is really cute. It's like pretty much fully filled in at this point. I added a little series tracker down here because I didn't really know what to do with this space, and then I was realizing that I'm kind of in the middle of a lot of series right now, so I was like, let me just keep track of that. And then me and Bestie Kelly and Bestie Kate, who has kind of joined along, it's like our besties book club, which theoretically I would love to do a besties book club with y'all next year on my booktube channel. So I might try to pick the books for that amongst many different genres, definitely sticking to the ones that I prefer, and then hopefully you guys prefer them as well. I usually try to watch booktubers that I like, have the same kind of general taste as. But anyways, we did that this year. It'd be cool if I did that sooner rather than later and had all the books picked out so that we could all get the books via our libraries and not have to spend money. And then I'll just do a video a month of me like reading the book club book, possibly. Then I have my vision board, which I love. I'm obsessed with this. It's so pretty, and it's so perfect actually that I might just like photocopy it and then paste it up somewhere, or like recreate something very similar for 2025. My boyfriend saw this the other day and was like, this is like the aesthetic of your channel, like what you really want it to be. And I'm like, you're so right. So anyways, then I had some goals and everything, and the beautiful calendar that one of my dear friends created. So I'm really excited to see what they come up with this year. And as always, once that is eventually out, I will let you know and put the details in the descriptions and everything. And then yeah, we're just out here with the first of the month, and it just kind of starts from there. So in general, I feel like it's a pretty good setup. However, I would really love to narrow it down and make it like work really well for me. So let's do a little bit of brainstorming and I will report back. So I've done a little bit more planning. I looked on my story graph and also tried to pick out a couple of ideas for Bestie Book Club. But other than that, I think I kind of have organized like how I want to set it up. I think the first page, the opening page, because it's totally blank, is just going to be the calendar pasted on, the like digital printout that my friend does. And then this will be the intentions for 2025. And then on this next spread page, it'll be my vision board. And then it will be book pages, which is what I'm looking at on Pinterest right now to kind of like get an idea of how I want to set that up, kind of. Because I definitely want to set up a place to track the books that I read and the series that I'm currently reading. And then it'll be the Besties Book Club spread. And then it'll be like a page of goals / like manifestations for the year. And then my no buy / low buy rules for next year, which I will talk about in a whole other video, so don't even worry about that. Then book bingo, and then something, actually no, switch that. I wrote it in my things as well. After the Besties Book Club, there's going to be another thing like book bingo and like some other book thing. Like, I don't know 100% what to do on the other extra page, but it's going to be something else book related. And then after that, I think it's just going to start with January. So I think that's pretty good. I can definitely tell that these pages are a lot thinner than the Archer and Olive pages. I'm kind of nervous. Maybe it's not the year to experiment with artistry unless I paste in some art that I've done on a separate page because I fear that if I do too much marker, it will just bleed all the way through. Luckily, I have a bunch of colored pens, so if the markers are a little too aggressive, then hopefully the pens will be fine. Anyways, let's look through some of these Pinterest ideas. Okay, so I was thinking that this might be a cute idea for the pages because then I could kind of do like 1, 2, 3 of them for the books that I'm actively reading, and then the last one, I don't know why I did that, and then the last one for the series, because I'm not reading like a million series right now, though I feel like it might actually need to take up the whole second page. So maybe like these 2 will be for the books I'm reading and then those 2 will be for the series I'm reading. Yeah, like something along this vibe. So that's option 1. And then option 2 is kind of like a similar version to what I did last year, which was kind of like a little hobbit hole, which is just this kind of vibe. I don't know. I do not know. Because then I would probably, this is like a blank version of what I just found. I would probably put the window on the other side so that it would be like the full side is the books that I'm reading and then the not as full side is the series that I'm reading, because it doesn't take up as much space and I don't read as many series. Maybe I should just make, I'm like screenshotting all of these. Maybe I should just make a freaking board. I color coded all of my stuff by the rating last year and it was kind of all out of order and it was very chaotic, and now the whole thing is basically the same color because most of my book ratings are in the 4-star range. So I think this next year I'm gonna do it in order, like across the shelves with the genre as like the color. So that will kind of give me an idea of the kind of genres that I'm reading. Ooh, yeah, like this. the color vibes are just so much better. Okay, cool. I think that's some good inspiration. I kind of just have to decide what I'm going to do. Wow, I really am yapping in this freaking vlog right now. I feel really good about the fact that I have set up my plan for next year's journal. I don't know if I'm going to actually execute any of it today. I thought I would. I really thought I would, but now I'm kind of feeling like I need to sit on the ideas a little bit more, just in terms of like how I'm gonna draw and set that up. So I'll definitely continue to do this in another video where I'm like actually physically setting it up, but I feel pretty good about like this situation right here. I think what I really want to do right now is start learning how to crochet a granny square. So let me get out my yarn really quickly. Okay, what a surprise. I'm back on Pinterest and back in my bullet journal. Also, I can feel my energy restoring to me. You can probably tell based on my energy level at the beginning of this freaking video. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this sideways and have 4 squares represent 1 granny square. Can I do that? Will it take up too much space? Yeah, there's no way. Never mind. I'm just going to do 1 square per thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's not going to be perfectly centered in my bullet journal, but that's totally fine. 1, 2, 3, and then it goes 3 more over. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm so bad at math. It's like not even funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I totally could have fit this the other direction. Okay. Erasing what I just did. I'm going to block out what it's going to look like on here so that I can like theoretically choose colors and patterns that kind of go together, because I don't want the whole thing to be the exact same pattern necessarily. Like I might want to do different kinds of granny squares or like whatever on it. Like I kind of want it to be a bit of a like junk square sweater because I have a lot of scrap yarn. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, so let's do that. Okay, now that I have my plan, I have my yarn. There's so much. I think I'm going to get started. All of the little scraps are in here. Some of it's kind of thick though, and some of it's really thin. So like this is the yarn that I was gifted that I would have really ideally liked to use for this project. And it's wool, but this is like the only wool yarn that I have. The rest is basically acrylic. And I feel like it would be kind of weird if I just had like a couple granny squares that were wool and then the rest of them were acrylic. I do have a lot of colors in there that really would work super well for this though. I have this like cream color, this light blue, this teal, this like dark green, some more dark green, and I think another teal one too. Yep, and another teal. Okay, so this is actually a good color scheme. Kind of this vibe right here that we have going on. Oh, I have these 3. How much do I need for granny squares? I'm really getting myself into something. I don't know, I think I just have to save this for a different project. These are all the wool ones that I was gifted that I wanted to use for this project. And then I was also gifted some other little tiny yarn balls, but the gauge is so small. I would have to use a tiny hook or just use it for something else. Because realistically, this is only a tiny bit bigger than, it's actually the same size as this, essentially. This is also a 6. Could I do something with this? this too. And then I can use these and this. Hold on a second. If I take this red out, guys, we're doing something here. Guys. Oh my god, wait, hold on. Hold on. I could definitely do a cardigan with this, right? I could do, how many freaking granny squares is it? It's like 50 something granny squares with this yarn. Probably, right? I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna ask in my my community, my little community of friendy friends on Discord, because we have a little section where we do cute crafty stuff too. Like, yes, there will be wool blended into it with acrylic, but like it's fine if it's like blended into each square or like different squares. It's fine. I don't really care. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if I could do a 50 something granny square project with these. Okay, let me double check. I'm getting kind of excited now because then I'm still using the yarn that I wanted to use for this project. So I've had to add these ones back into consideration, potentially. I don't necessarily want to, because ideally these ones would just be the ones that we would have, but if I was gonna do these, I would want little details of this color throughout, not like full blocks of this maybe. I mean, I don't know, probably wouldn't be that bad. I don't know. Am I getting in over my head? Yes, the answer is absolutely yes. I also realized that I don't have a 6 size. I have a 6.5 and I have a 5.25 and a 5. Worst case, I can always switch to a slightly smaller one because these are all between 5 and 6 and my tension is pretty good, so I think it'll be okay. It's kind of chaotic. The way that I'm doing this is like probably not recommended by any crochet person that's ever lived. Essentially, the plan is they're suggesting like to weigh all of it and then make one square and then reassess to see how many squares I'd be able to make. But I don't have a kitchen scale. So like theoretically, I could wait to start doing this official project until I have a kitchen scale and I could just ask for one for my birthday, because I know that for crocheting it's actually really nice to have a kitchen scale, and also it's good for like bread making, which is something that I would really like to get into in 2025. And also most of the yarn that I'm getting is secondhand, so some of it is partially used, and it would be really nice to be able to like do the math and figure out how much yarn I can get out of each. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that, and I'm gonna use right now as time to actually just learn how to do the granny square instead of jumping right into a project where I don't even know how to actually make a granny square yet. So I think I'm gonna put this yarn to the side and keep it for this project. I'm gonna include this as well because they're saying, I don't know if I mentioned this, my brain is kind of like meh. They said that it might make a vest or like a cropped cardigan or something, which could be really cute. I'm totally fine with that. If I had to take off 18 squares, it would just be a vest, or if I wanted it to be cropped, I would only be taking off like 5 squares. Man, you use so much yarn to make something. It's so crazy. Anyways, let's learn how to make a granny square first. First and foremost, let's learn how to make a granny square, and then I'll start this in a different vlog. I feel like today has just been me starting projects and not finishing them. Like planning projects and then not finishing them. Guess what? I feel better now that I've planned this ideal granny square situation because it has all the things lined up, squared out, whatever. So yeah, I am definitely feeling a lot better than I was this morning. So like, I think the things that I've done today have done their job. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna get some of this yarn out and just put on a little tutorial and learn how to make a granny square. Yay! Okay, let's go. It's not that bad. It's a little ugly, but it's really, hold on, so glowy. The freaking light is changing. Look! It actually looks kind of decent. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is the beginnings of my journey. The only problem is the hole in the center. Sorry, the light is coming in. The hole in the center is so big. My whole pinky can fit through. It's not great. I might restart and try this part again just to like make it be better. So it's actually going kind of decently. However, it is now getting to be a little bit later in the afternoon and it's time to go on a nice walk with the dogs and Ray. And I'm going to unravel this because I'm gonna start over. So I think I'm going to call it a day. I feel like this little feel better experiment definitely worked because I feel a lot better. It's just very warm in here and I don't really want to be sitting right in the sun frying in it. And also I have to like make dinner and walk the dogs and everything. I think tonight we're going to watch Kiki's delivery service, so I'm really excited about that. Just something like nice and light and cute. I will give you guys more of an update on my crocheting journey in another video. I think it's gonna be a very long while before you actually see the video with the final product. Like, do not hold your breath. It's gonna be several months, I think. I might give little glimpses of sneak peeks in like an update video or something, because my monthly wrap-ups are kind of going to be repurposed into something slightly different next year in terms of like the video format and like what I'm sharing. So you guys will definitely stay up to date while I'm still working on it until the final video eventually comes out. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be really good to have this little project. And honestly, I've just learned like the inner round of granny squares, but so far it seems pretty straightforward. I definitely need to get better at my double crochet because that's something that I don't do that often. So as soon as my tension gets a little better on the granny squares, I think I will feel quite confident. This is like one of those classic granny squares with like the little nubs, but there's also definitely a lot of different kinds. So I'm gonna try to make a couple of different ones, see which one I like the best. Yeah, there's lots of options. I also don't mind mixing up patterns and like doing some little ones that look like flowers or something else and like mixing it all up. It's gonna be chaotic and fun. So anyways, that's the end of the video today. Thanks for coming with me to start a bunch of creative projects. I definitely feel a lot better than I did earlier today, which is really the goal of making this video, really. So hopefully you had fun hanging out with me a little bit. Hopefully you were able to do something fun and calming as well, or get some chores done or whatever. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, I'm sending you all my love because we're all just trying our best out here.